Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to another episode of In the Streets of Medina, where we learn life lessons from the seerah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. In today's episode, we'll be covering Masjid Shaykhain, also known as Masjid Dira. This is a historical landmark that is the precursor to the Battle of Uhud, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on a Friday leaves Madinah al-Munawwara and comes to Masjid Shaykhain, this area where he prepares the army in getting ready for the Battle of Uhud. So this is the point where the Prophet ﷺ assesses the army, the troops, and he sends back those that are too young or those that are too old to fight, or those that are unwilling to, not fitting to fight. So a few beautiful stories occur in this site. One is my favorite Sahabi, Osama bin Zayd radiallahu anh. He is a very young child at this time, around the age of 11, 12, and he is hiding behind the men, trying to find his way into the army. And that is the spirit of our young Sahabi radiallahu anhum ajma'in, who wanted to be part of this battle, who wanted to be part of this endeavor of coming closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the ultimate sacrifice. And another beautiful story of two young companions is of Rafi' radiallahu an. His father notices that Rafi' was not allowed to join the army because he didn't meet the threshold of being 15 years old. He was just shy of that, 14 years old. So his father goes to the Prophet ﷺ and says, Rafi' radiallahu anh is an amazing archer. You need him on your roster. So the Prophet ﷺ gives him a fair chance, and he says, go ahead, prove to us. So Rafi' radiallahu anh takes a few arrows and he fires without missing his mark, and he is welcomed onto the team to join the army. Now, his cousin sees him and says, O Rasulullah, I am able to wrestle and I'm able to take Rafi' down. It is unfair that you allowed Rafi' to join the army while I am the same age and I want to be in the army as well. So the Prophet ﷺ, being the just human being that he was, allows the two to battle it out. They wrestle, and just like that, his cousin takes him down in that wrestling match, and he too is allowed to join the battle. So two quick points that I want to take away from this story is that when the father of Rafi' radiallahu anh sees that his son has special talent, he uses it and facilitates it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the same way, when fathers in our community see that their children have a special talent, they too need to facilitate it and help them grow in their talents. And secondly, when Jundab radiallahu anh sees himself, sees an opportunity for himself, he goes and gets it and he seeks it out himself. And so this is two different variations, where in one the father facilitates it, in the second the individual himself facilitates it, giving us two different examples of how we as Muslims can learn from the Sahaba in trying to emulate them in their desire to be givers to the community, in their desire to use their talents for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow our youth to have that same level of zeal and desire to be those that are at the forefront of Islam, to those that are at the forefront of facilitating and giving back to the communities. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.